Alright, what is going on, guys? My name is Nick, and welcome back to the channel. And last night, I had the amazing opportunity to be able to see Cate Blanchett and Todd Field's new film, Tar, so let's talk about it. Tar follows the renowned musician Lydia Tarr as she is days away from recording the symphony that will elevate her career. When all elements seem to conspire against her, Lydia's adopted daughter, Petra, becomes an integral emotional support for her struggling mother. I find films like Tar to be the most difficult to review, or at least the most difficult to find a starting place. Like, we all know that Cate Blanchett's performance in this film was phenomenal, but I feel that by me saying that, I'm just reiterating what the common mind has already said. Blanchett is, of course, a tour de force in this film. She's nothing short of Oscar-worthy in this movie, but I do think, other than her performance, there are a lot of other things to discuss. But while we're still on the topic of it, do I think she's going to win the Oscar for this film? I think it's too early to say, but I think she's definitely in the top two of the running right now. For me, I think my favorite performance of the year is still Danielle Deadwyler's performance as Mamie Till Mobley. Until her performance in that was fucking perfect. It might be one of my favorites I've ever seen. So I'm really rooting for Danielle to get her Oscar this year, but if Blanchett takes it for her turn as Lydia Tarr, I totally understand. I don't know. We have to see. We still have to see Babylon. We still have to see Woman Talking. There's a lot of other films that I still have to see before I can even call my top five. Because I don't want to... I see a lot of people on YouTube making lists of who they think are going to win Best Picture, or who's going to be in the running for it, who's going to be in the running for supporting actress, actor, whatever it may be. And a majority of these people haven't seen the film. So how can they judge it? Anyway, because what's going to happen is like what just happened today with Babylon coming out. The reviews are so mixed right now. And that film was, to me, going to be one of probably the Best Picture nominees, but honestly, I don't know now. I mean, everything is just so mixed right now. I mean, anything could change. You never know. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket is what I'm trying to say here. Tar was my first experience of a Todd Field production, and man, do I want to dive into the rest of his filmography. I know he doesn't have a whole, shit ton of movies like, say, Spielberg or Nolan might have, but I do want to dive into more of his filmography, because Tar felt more like I was watching an actual person going about their day-to-day life, just with a camera attached to their back. And that brings me to one of the most interesting aspects of this film. The fact that Lydia Tarr, the lead of this film, who Cate Blanchett plays, is not a real person. The movie is essentially pitched as a biopic of this world-renowned conductor, but at the end of the day, this is a character created entirely from scratch from Todd Field, and to me, that's way more impressive than taking a real-life person and making a film about their movie. And I'm not trying to undercut films like Rocket Man or the Johnny Cash film or Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm not trying to undercut those. I'm just saying that, to me, I think that creating an entirely new character, and especially a character that is so complex as Lydia Tarr, it's so much more impressive. And thankfully, I did know going into the film that this was not a real person. It was only until a couple hours before my screening that I started to do a little bit of research, and I found out the truth. But it did not affect my enjoyment of the film whatsoever at all. Because at the end of the day, guys, this film is a character study. We are diving into the mind of Lydia Tarr, what makes her click, and it's so interesting because this character has essentially removed themselves, they've completely created this entire persona for the world to see, pretty much, right? Because at the end of the film, light spoilers here, she does come to her hometown and she sees her brother, and they're almost polar opposites. Like, if you put them in a room together, you would never guess that they were related, let alone knew each other. The character work that Todd Field is able to do in this film is fucking insane. This is by far my most favorite written film of the year so far. Second is, of course, The Banshees of Inisherin. That film was fantastic. But man, there's just something about Tar that, despite its intimidating 2 hour and 38, almost 2 hour and 40-minute runtime, which is the exact runtime of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, I was engaged the entire time. Now, can I say that the two people on my right were engaged the entire time? No, they weren't. In fact, the old couple that was sitting next to me on my right, they were confused a majority of the time, but I feel like that's going to be a lot of people's experience with this movie. They're going to go into it, and they're going to come out thinking it was just this artsy-fartsy piece of film. But in reality, it's more than that. What we're seeing here with this film, this is really good shit. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about one of the main themes of the film that it explores, and that is separating the artist from the art. And wow, does this film make a compelling argument about how we have to set apart the artist from the art. Because throughout this entire film, we start hearing little hints of what Lydia has done in the past, how she's wronged people. And then in real time, we're also seeing her do these things to people in current time. Do I have any complaints about the film? Of course I do. Every film I'm going to see, I'm going to have my gripes with it. No film is perfect. For this one in particular, I did think it could have been shorter. I don't think it could have been 30 minutes shorter or a 45 minutes shorter like a lot of people online are saying that it should be, but 20 to 25 minutes of this film could be cut out or at least trimmed down to make the film flow better. I do think that there were a lot of really good ideas that Todd Field was trying to convey, especially in regards to the theme of the film, separating the artist from the art. And there's a couple other themes in here, especially I think that the artist and the art, that's the wider theme for the whole film, but I think for Lydia specifically, she is struggling with maintaining this public persona that people have seen her entire life, and we never really get to see the real Lydia Tarr at all, really, except for one specific scene towards the end of the film where she watches a performance on a TV. That is probably the most real depiction that we've seen the entire movie of Lydia. And it was just riveting, and it's all carried by Cate Blanchett's fucking God-given talent. I don't know how anyone could be that fantastic at acting. But you guys, at this point, I feel like I'm just rambling on and on. I need to collect my thoughts a little bit better before I start to dive into some of the analysis of the film, because like I said, there are multiple themes. There are multiple things going on that the director, the writers plural, that Todd Field is trying to say and trying to convey, that I can't break it all down here off the top of my head. That's what I usually do for my reviews. I write some sort of a quick little outline for what I should talk about, and then I just go off the cuff. I just think it flows a little better. It feels a little more real than a robot sitting here reading a picture, like reading text like it's on a teleprompt. It's much less like that. But have you guys gotten a chance to see Todd Field's Tar? If you have, feel free to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below and let me know your guys' thoughts. I'd love to start a conversation about this film. And feel free to talk all spoilers in the comment section. This movie has been out for almost an entire month now, so... And it's not like it's a Marvel film, right? So, but with that said, you guys, I am going to give Tar a 4.5 out of 5. I don't think I've given any films this year a 5 out of 5, and you guys might be wondering, well, why the fuck is that the case? Because I feel like nowadays in our society, we give 10 out of 10s, 5 out of 5s all the time. And at the end of the day, a lot of the movies that we're seeing, they're not 5 out of 5s. They're just simply not. And I was really impressed with this one. What would have pushed this to a 5 out of 5 would have been the pacing of the film. I do think it drags a lot, but for a person like me that does nothing but loves watching longer movies, longer character study films, I'm used to the fact. I'm used to what I'm watching right now on screen. I'm prepped for what I was going into, and I think that much like the couple that sat next to me, they weren't prepared for that. Though they probably should have been, because the movie is literally called Tar, which is the last name of the character in the film, therefore meaning it's going to be somewhat of a character study. But anyway, I digress, you guys. Thank you so much again for watching, and I'm going to see The Menu tonight with Ralph Fiennes. I'm not seeing it with Ralph Fiennes, but Ralph Fiennes is in the movie, and I am so fucking excited. Stay tuned for my out of theater reaction, and I'll see you guys in the next one.